I have a bike story that's not nearly as exciting as yours, but I figure I'll share it. Friday evening I was biking home and this fell out of my pocket, and I didn't think it was dire wolves, but I did think that a car had hit a rock and it ricocheted, because when this hit the ground I thought, oh, there's, almost like I did get hit by a rock once when I was pedaling home, and so that's what I thought, that's what happened. And that wasn't what happened. When I got home I found out my glasses weren't with me. So I ran back down, I pedaled down, and I looked all over and there were no glasses. So I put an ad in the newspaper, and I now have a good friend, a new friend named Bridget, who called me last night and says, Brett, I've got your glasses. So I get to now put these on after a week of not wearing them. Thank you, Brooke, for the invitation, and thank you all for being here. This is a passage from my upcoming book. I grew up with the outlandish and apparently outdated idea that God created the earth and life. Within that belief system, I never would have considered it possible for a human being to patent life. God created our food, and I thanked him for it every time I ate a meal with my family. I figured if he made it, he got it right. It was healthy as is. How silly of me. God doesn't own it. Monsanto, Cargill, Dow, and other biotech corporations own it. And I'm not talking about buying and selling food, I'm talking about patenting the genetic makeup of food. Now that I've been enlightened, our mealtime prayers at home go something like this. O divine Monsanto, we thank you that you've had the wisdom, courage, and forethought to provide your children with DDT, PCBs, Agent Orange, and genetically engineered foods. We know you've perfected the world's food supply out of your love for us. We thank you for liberally sharing your seeds with the world's poor. We thank you for working with the Coalition Provisional Authority for protecting and liberating Iraqi farmers from their seeds of terror. We thank you for improving the lives of the Indian farmers who haven't yet committed suicide due to your GMO cotton. We thank you for suing American farmers when your GMOs contaminate their pesky natural foods. We thank you for spending millions to keep GMOs unlabeled. Through your love, world hunger has been alleviated, farmers enriched, bodies purified, minds sharpened, and spirits ennobled. In the sacred names of Donald Rumsfeld, John Ashcroft, Paul Bremer, Michael Taylor, ad nauseum, amen. When I'm totally pissed, I want to tell the people of power in Monsanto /FDA/USDA/Congress to go screw themselves with a bunch of their mutant double helix monstrosities. But I don't need to tell them. They've already screwed themselves and their children, and they're hell-bent to screw the world without regard to the consequences. That's nothing new for Monsanto. Ask the diseased, disfigured, and disabled Vietnamese who have been screwed by Agent Orange. Ask the people of Anniston, Alabama, who identify themselves at their local meetings by their blood PCB levels. Ask the Mexican farmers whose corn is now contaminated with GM corn, even though Mexico doesn't allow GM corn in their country. Ask the Indian farmers who are now depressed, destitute, or dead due to Monsanto's GMO cotton. Ask the Iraqi farmers who have experienced the deliberate annihilation of their ancient farming methods, which international researchers have termed the ultimate war crime. GM products and associated poisons are already directly responsible for the suffering, illness, and deaths of millions of people. But the potential consequences are yet to be realized. Now that Monsanto and other GMO-producing corporations have unleashed these mutant life forms into the environment, there is no going back. These corrupted life forms are now part of the Earth's ecosystem. They are infecting and contaminating crops even in countries where GM products are illegal. Even if all GM products were outlawed today, there would be no way to eradicate these poisons from the earth. So what can you do to at least slow their spread? Choose to exercise two powerful tools with every meal. One, don't eat factory-farmed meat. The tortured animals that provide the vast majority of the meat on American plates grow fat on poison-saturated GM feed. When you say no to meat, you're also saying no to the GM feed that fattens those animals. 2, say no to GMOs on your plate. I realize saying no to GMOs is easier said than done, but it's not impossible. The good people at the Institute for Responsible Technology have created a fact-filled brochure called Non-GMO Shopping Tips. This brochure tells you where Monsanto and gang hide their GMOs. Like any other company, Monsanto exists to make money. When enough people stop buying their poison, they'll stop producing it. In Monsanto's case, they'll be forced to come up with yet another way to poison people and the environment. Refuse to be a Monsanto guinea pig. If you want to actively fight against GMOs, then join forces with the Institute for Responsible Technology at responsibletechnology.org. The battle they're waging against GMOs is a battle that must be won. The very future of the human race and the earth is at stake. You might be wondering what GMOs have to do with your sexy body, weight loss, life, love, and loot. There's nothing sexy about cancer, tumors, allergies, and fertility and immune system problems. There's nothing sexy about Order 81 and Indian farmer suicides. There's nothing sexy about Monsanto destroying American farmers. When you choose to eat the foods that God and Mother Nature created in their naturally occurring forms, you honor God and Mother Nature. You honor your body and your health. It may be no coincidence that American butts have ballooned since GMO foods were silently spliced into the American diet. But regardless of that question, there is no question that GMOs are dangerous. The only question is how dangerous they will ultimately prove to be to your health, the health of your children, the health of the environment, and the health of worldwide farming systems and the global food supply. When you choose natural foods, you show your love for people around the world whose lives are being destroyed by GMOs. You support traditional and organic farmers. You love your own body enough to nourish it with safe and healthy foods. When you choose natural foods, Monsanto will never see your money. Writing that gives me such pleasure. I'm going to write it again. Monsanto will never see your money. Wiping out Monsanto and their poisons would be a happy ending to a horrendous chapter in human history. A happier ending would be the day the linchpins of the Monsanto/government cartel serve the rest of their lives in prison for crimes against humanity, and their fat assets are carved up and distributed to the millions of victims and survivors around the world whose lives they've destroyed. Monsanto and gang defeated California's Proposition 37 by lying to and inciting fear in voters. Fear Monsanto. Don't fear their lies. Americans have the right to join some 50 other countries that already label GMOs. You have the right to know if your food has been genetically modified. Vote with your wallet, vote with your food purchases, and vote with your vote. Say yes to labeling. Say yes to natural foods. And always, always, always say no to biotech bullies like Monsanto. Thank you.